looking in the mirror. Do I look good? I got my extra bands on. I got my other shoes on. We need more dogs.
And welcome back to the latest and greatest episode of the Shaving Points podcast. My name is Jayden Main, and I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, Quentin Crisco. We got a new OC in town, Mr. Shane Waldron. Let's give it up for the Shane.
Yeah, I'm excited for him. Hooray! I mean, honestly, so you sit here saying, okay, they're keeping Matt Eberflus. What can you do with that? You want an experienced play caller, right? Who's an experienced play caller?
Eric Bieniemy.
Everybody boos. Eric Bieniemy. Everybody boos. Is it no? We want a good experienced play caller. There are no good experienced play callers available for an offensive coordinator position. You want Jim Caldwell? You want so Waldron is literally only available because Pete Carroll retired. There you have it. He was the best option. He's ran top 10 offenses there in Seattle, despite his quarterback was Geno Smith, who was a meme at the start of last season. And
got his job by a teammate.
Rookie offensive tackles last year, and they still make the playoffs. Have a top 10 offense by EPA per play, 13th by success rate over the last 3 years. He's been doing good stuff in Seattle.
How long has he been in Seattle?
3 years.
Okay.
I don't think he's like. You're not looking at him and saying this is some whiz kid. This guy's going to change the way offense is played. Like, no, but he's good at his job, and that's better than the Bears have had in a while. So I'm
is. Very good. Well, I'm proud for you, and I'm happy that you're excited. And so on a scale of Matt Nagy to Mark Trestman, where is this higher rank?
I mean, it's in the Matt Nagy territory. If
pretty good.
If that's the best option I got, then I got to take that.
So pretty good. I mean, y'all were excited.
Now, if you let me enter Adam Gase territory, then we're talking.
Did y'all hire Adam Gase?
Yeah, the Bears are the reason Adam Gase became a head coach. He got Jay Cutler's best year out of him.
I thought it was Peyton Manning that did that for him.
No one would hire him as a head coach still. So he came to Chicago, was the quarterback whisperer for Jay Cutler, and then the Jets were like, "This guy seems good."
Smoking Jay Cutler. Was that Jay Cutler in Miami?
No, that was Chicago.
I'm so confused on this timeline.
Jay Cutler went to Miami later when Adam Gase was the head coach there.
Oh, yeah. Adam Gase had some wild interviews.
Just wide-eyed.
Yeah, no, good times. Adam Gase, all-time great hire for the Chicago Bears. Let's put Shane Waldron up there. And then I guess he'll leave after next year, after Caleb Williams wins Rookie of the Year, runner-up MVP, makes a conference championship game, loses to Jordan Love, and then Shane Waldron will leave.
Why you gotta do that to me?
Because it happened to me.
Okay.
Just trying to distribute some of the hurt.
Okay, I respect it.
I stay distributing the hurt.
Hurt distributor. That's your nickname, after all.
That's what they call me. All right. Well, what a weekend! What a weekend it was. You had Jason Kelce drinking all the beer in Buffalo.
Oh yeah,
good for him.
I saw a Swiftie theory that Jason Kelce is so sweet for taking all the pressure off Taylor, and that's the reason he did that.
Yeah, or he had a suite and he was in Buffalo and likes to party.
I think that's the more likely one.
But I mean, it definitely took some pressure off. That's for sure. I mean, he was like going to like tailgates and like chugging out of like bowling balls and all sorts of stuff. It was just great to watch. And then him jumping out of that suite wearing nothing but Tim's straight onto ice. That was like a 4.5 foot drop.
Yeah.
Just landed it perfectly. And then like after
Professional athlete, man. He's got
after
balance.
after a 19 game season at 37 years old, he just fucking hops right back in the suite like no problem. It's good lord.
Yeah. Dude's a freak.
It's crazy.
Either that or he's Spider-Man, one of the two.
Could be both.
Yeah, maybe.
Could be both. Freak athlete, Spider-Man. But yeah. Wide right.
Why don't superheroes ever become pro athletes?
Because it wouldn't be fair. They talk about it in Smallville, the TV show by the CW network based on the life of Superman growing up in a small town school in rural Iowa. I think Iowa? I can't remember what
Why
state.
don't super villains become pro athletes?
Because they usually do it later in life because they grew up nerds and getting bullied.
Are all superheroes that virtuous, though, to be like, no, it wouldn't be fair? I think that's just Superman.
Yeah. I think Spider-Man's just too busy.
Yeah, he always seems in a rush.
The Flash is just too fast. It wouldn't make sense.
Can the Flash gauge his speed down, though, to look normal? Like, just be like, oh, that guy's Tyreek Hill?
Yeah, like the kid in The Incredibles where he's running at the end and the dad's like, go for second. And he slows down and lets somebody pass him and he gets second place and everybody starts cheering. Then he's running around with his second place medal at the end.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
Is Tyreek Hill the Flash?
No, not quite.
What about John Ross?
Yeah, that's probably accurate. Just can't catch.
All right.
But so wide right in Buffalo.
Wide right.
You think that's like the worst phrase in Buffalo ever? Is that like the one thing you can't say in Buffalo from now on? Like,
I think it already was the one thing you can't say in Buffalo.
And now it's just again. I mean, it wasn't for the win. They were going to give the ball back. They're going to give the ball back to Mahomes with like 1:27.
Yeah,
left.
they played that so dumb. Like, I mean, I didn't think they played it right. The way that they went after the end zone right there with almost 2 minutes left, and then I mean, I get it. It's a game. They're on the field. Like, you can't play it like a video game. And if it's there, it's there.
And they also were like trying to run out the clock, but then like went out of bounds on one of the plays.
Yeah, they fumbled. Honestly, I thought McDermott was going to get fired.
I'm surprised he hasn't. Do you think he sticks around?
It seems like it so far, based on what's being said.
Oh, so now you got McDermott, McCarthy, and Philly boy all staying when everybody thought they would be gone. Sirianni.
Yeah.
Oh. At least you got Shane Waldron. So Mahomes, inevitable. I mean, it's kind of turning into Tom Brady. I'm like, everybody's saying that the NFL is rigged and everything, and I'm like, or maybe he's just really freaking good. I mean, Mahomes played as well as he's played all year. And the crazy thing was, just like guys caught the ball.
Yeah,
it's like when people catch the ball, that offense is completely different.
Yeah, I mean,
and they were making. I mean, he was dropping it in the bucket, and they were making good catches. But it's like, yeah, that's what happens whenever like you hit MVS going down the sidelines on a back shoulder, and it falls right into his arms on like a 34-yard gain. And you're like, oh, what a catch. And it's like, what a throw. He's been making them all year.
He really has. I mean, there were at least 3 games that it probably cost them the game, some of the wide receiver drops.
At least 3.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe 3 by Kadarius Toney alone.
Yeah, it might have been 3 by Toney, actually.
But, yeah, I mean, so what is this? 6 straight for Mahomes and AFC Championship games. He's never missed the AFC Championship as a starter. Like, what a nice life for Kansas City fans.
For real. I'm happy for him.
Yeah, good for them. I bet Nick Wright is just having himself a day.
Probably. Who's Nick Wright?
He's just a guy on Fox Sports that is from Kansas City, and I became a fan of him a little bit early on when Mahomes was a rookie or second year, because nobody was like pumping him up, and like he was like the only one like every single week like on national media just like talking about how good he was, and I was like, yeah. And now he's just so over the top that like can't hardly even listen to him, but he still makes a lot of good points.
You got to keep up somehow after everyone
Yeah.
catches up.
Yeah, you just got to keep on going. So, but yeah, it's crazy. Like just witnessing greatness. Like we talked about it with Brady, but like if Mahomes can have any sort of like late career that Brady had, as far as like improving, taking care of his body, like keeping up with the like physical nature of the game the way Tom Brady did, like he's gonna pass him, because Tom Brady was nowhere close to this good until like year 10.
Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, I mean, Mahomes is on. It feels like he's on pace to exceed Brady. Like even if he doesn't play as long, just as far as a ring standpoint goes, like, and he probably won't keep up the same pace his whole career. But like, I feel like we've been saying that for 3 years now, and he's still here.
Yeah, I mean he gets one this year. He's gonna win 3 out of 4, 6 straight AFC championship. So he's in year 6 of being a starter, year 7 as a pro. So I mean, if he wins this year, you're telling me he can't win 3 more in the next 10 and at least like get one within? Because like if he gets to 6, I mean I think he's right there with him. You look at some of Brady's, like Brady kind of got carried his rookie year, got carried a couple of times on those first 3, and then really took over the reins and became that dude. But it's like, I mean, Mahomes has carried them to almost every Super Bowl, or has carried them to every Super Bowl and been like the sole reason they won.
I mean, yeah, Brady's first, because he didn't really play his first year. You remember?
Yeah, week 13 or something he came in.
Not even. He didn't play. He played one game all season as a rookie.
Oh! I thought you meant the year he won the Super Bowl.
No, that was his second season.
Yeah. I was thinking you were calling that like his first year.
Oh yeah, he started 14 games his second season.
Oh, was it that early? Okay.
Yeah, I mean he won the 2 rings the first 2 years as a starter, or 3 rings, I guess. Did he win 3?
Yeah, he won 01, 03,
Okay.
04. I think 01, 03, 04, I believe.
In 02, was he hurt?
No.
Or no, they just missed the playoffs in 02.
Yeah.
I think the thing that's going to be the most interesting with this discussion in the future is that Andy Reid is going to retire. That's the point.
Yeah. I mean, you think that. What is Andy Reid? 68 probably?
I don't know.
70?
65. Wow, he's younger than I thought.
So, I mean, Andy Reid, I mean, not trying to say anything about Andy Reid as a man, but it's not like his family situation is not all that. It's like he don't have a whole lot to do. I mean, maybe he has a great wife, but like I don't think he has any grandchildren.
No, he doesn't. I mean, so you figure what, Mahomes, how many more years is he going to play, you think?
15?
15? You think Andy Reid's got 15 more years in him?
I mean, I think that'll be if he plays 15 more years. I mean, he probably does. Maybe I'd say 12, 18 seasons.
Yeah.
And I think we can get 12 more out of Big Red.
Okay.
Just retire together.
I mean, it seems possible to me. I'm just because my main thought here is that Brady had Belichick almost his entire career with him.
Yeah.
and the coordinators changed, but the head presence didn't. And that's something that Mahomes might see at some point that Brady didn't. And I just don't know what that could do to
Yeah.
impact the player, because
I'm
Reid is a
assuming,
great coach. It's hard to replace that.
and I'm assuming by that time, I don't think he'll leave until there's like an established someone to like pass the reins to. Everybody thought with Belichick it was always going to be McDaniel, and then he just stuck around too long. McDaniel's got a couple of shots and they weren't good, and then the whole thing in New England kind of fell apart. So it was like, okay, well now it's as good a time as ever. Like I like Mayo. He could kind of. It's a little bit of a passing of the torch. He's a legend of the game. All this. So I mean, it made sense, but I mean, I think always the plan was McDaniel's until he failed twice, and I think Bill also stuck around longer than he thought because I think Brady stuck around longer than he thought. Like,
yeah, it's just interesting. But want to move on to Detroit?
Yeah, Jared Goff is he's elite. I mean, he's good enough for Detroit.
He's Detroit elite.
Like, we gotta start. I mean, I've been pounding this for years. Like, Jared Goff is serviceable.
Yeah,
good quarterback, elite.
You can get
better
it
than
done
most.
With Jared Goff. Those are
better than most.
Wait. What you said? Serviceable, something good, elite, and better than most. Yeah. Those are four very different statements. Well, the first and last are pretty similar, but
they're all true.
Okay. I just wanted to be clear on what exactly you were saying. Yeah, I think I got it.
I'm saying he's awesome. I mean, I think the very first hot take I had on this show was that they'd be competing for a Super Bowl in 4 years, and we're 3 years into this show, and they're a game away. So,
yeah,
look at me with my smart cap on.
Yeah, I think they got a shot too, but we'll get to that in a bit.
Big shot, big shot. Yeah, I mean, this last team is just so much fun. Amon-Ra St. Brown is incredible.
And then driver I've ever had.
Sam Laporta just tearing his knee in half and just saying, like, I'm just going to play the rest of the playoffs and probably just be fine. I don't know. Went and ate some corn. I don't know what Iowa guys do to get their bodies right, but, like, this dude's leg was, like, amputated from his body, and he's just out there catching, like, 5 for 65 and a touchdown like it's just another day in the office. So, good for him.
Yeah, he's
Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs is absolutely incredible. I mean, I think he is the way we kind of get criticized all year for his usage, but if he can do this, keep up this type of play for 5 to 7 seasons, then it was worth every bit of the 2nd or 7th overall pick because, like, I mean, that it was like that early McCaffrey role early in McCaffrey's career. I mean, he was more of a receiver than he was a running back. He may only have 8 to 12 carries a game in Carolina, but was getting 5 to 7 catches for 80 yards. Like, I mean, it's a way to kind of get the hits down, keep your legs under you, but I mean, you're still a threat running the ball. And I mean, now McCaffrey's 29, and I mean, he's kind of getting ran into the ground, but we'll see. Maybe the early years of keeping the just straight up like rushes off of him and just getting the ball to him in different ways helps elongate his career to where he's still going to be elite at 32, 33 years old. We'll see about that. But I mean, if that's the plan for Jahmyr Gibbs in Detroit and they're able to retain him and keep him as that weapon and always have like a quote unquote like bell cow with him, and with Amon-Ra St. Brown there and Sam Laporta there, that offensive line they have, like, this offense is going to be lethal for years to come.
Yeah, I mean, they have a lot of tools at their disposal.
Assuming they can stay as good losing Ben Johnson.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I think Ben Johnson's a big driver in there, though, of it. So we'll see how that transition goes.
But I mean, Dan Campbell has connections. I'm sure he's got somebody that he likes.
He found Ben Johnson.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, Dan Campbell's not stupid by any means. I mean, he kind of gets labeled as this like archaic, like barbarian that will like do it. But I mean, he's also like one of the most analytical coaches in the league.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I think he's like top 5 in like analytics, like
decision making, like what's considered the analytics, like the fourth down decisions and the.
He's definitely. Yeah, I know he's one of the most aggressive, but I think like as far as analytics go, I mean, he follows the numbers more than just about anybody in the league.
I mean, I can buy it. I just wasn't sure. Like I haven't really paid much attention to it.
But yeah, I'm excited for this Detroit team. Jared Goff, incredible. I mean, not only slaying the dragon of the Rams and then coming back the next week and fighting off a feisty Tampa Bay team that fought till the very end. And I mean, just kind of going out there and just playing his game. And when they needed him the most, I mean, they weren't taking big shots, but they're like, hey, we're not going to run the ball. We're going to put the ball in your hands. Like, we're going to throw short intermediate passes as like an extension of the run game. We're going to run down this clock, and we trust you to make the best decisions. And, I mean, he did it. They just walked right down the field and put him out.
Yeah. Wait. What about Todd Bowles? Did you see that?
What about Todd Bowles?
He had a chance to get the ball back with 30 seconds and didn't do it in a playoff game.
Yeah. Well, down 2 possessions, weren't they?
They were down by 8.
Was it just 8?
His reasoning was that Detroit was just going to kick a field goal anyways.
Yeah, I mean, make him kick the field goal.
Yeah, make him make the field goal. Like,
yeah,
it was insane.
Yeah, I must have missed the very end of the game because I think they need it, and then it just started clicking. Like I didn't even think about it.
Messed up the kneel out and gave Tampa a chance to get the ball back, and Tampa didn't make them do it.
Yeah,
down by 8. It's just insane.
Yeah, I mean, you could block it. You could do a lot of things, like make them kick field goal,
block it and return it all the way.
Yeah. Like, I mean, that's crazy. I didn't even notice that. Like I said, I mean, at the end, I mean, once they got to a point where they could basically knee it out, I thought, or whatever it was, I had a 2-year-old running around like crazy, so kind of walked away. I don't think I even realized that they could have got the ball back.
Tampa shouldn't have had a chance to get the ball back, but Detroit messed up the kneel downs. They did them too fast.
Okay. And so on the 3rd down, there was 30 seconds left or whatever, so they would have had to do. Tampa, they would have had to kick it. Yeah, so they would have had to kick it. I gotcha. That's crazy.
I couldn't believe, and after the game, his comments were just like, well, they're just going to kick a field goal anyways. It just felt pointless. And it was just like,
you got to give your team every opportunity to win.
Telling your dudes in your locker room that?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it just didn't occur to him. Like he'd already accepted defeat.
I don't think it did, but his reasoning was just not good.
Yeah. But what do you say in that moment?
I fucked up.
Yeah. I mean, that's all you can say, really. But yeah.
Right.
But but pretty good playoff showing by Todd Bowles. Other than that, I mean, with the team and everything. But yeah, it's a bad way to go out after the performance you had.
So is playoff Lamar good now?
I don't know. Texas defense isn't very good. Kind of played over their head, and the Cleveland game just played absolutely incredible. They showed signs of improvement all year, but
they just don't have the depth.
They don't have the depth, and I mean they were young, and Lamar kind of got in his bag early, but I don't know. We'll see this week. I'm never gonna say Lamar is a bad quarterback.
No,
but I mean we've seen him falter away opportunities in the playoffs against worse teams than theirs. So, I mean, them beating the Texans was good because I would say this Texans team was better than the Tennessee team that beat them back in 2019, 2020.
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if they are the quarterback's better.
Yeah, I mean, I would
But
say
the
this
defense
Texans
probably
team.
isn't as good. Or, like the defense probably isn't as good. The receiver
Yeah,
and running back aren't as good. The line probably isn't as good.
yeah, that Texans team next year when that O-line gets healthy, man,
Yeah. All right.
that'd
And
be
then
something to watch.
is Brock Purdy any good?
How good is Purdy good? No. It's sickening to see the display of those two teams of Green Bay and San Francisco go out there, put the performance that they put on after the way both of those teams played against Dallas this year. I mean, San Francisco looked like the best team in 15 years when they played Dallas in like week 7 or whatever it was. And then Jordan Love was just perfect against Dallas. And then they both look like hot dog shit against each other. Like nobody wanted to win that game.
Yeah. Makes you wonder a little about Dan Quinn's defense.
Yeah. But I mean, Dan Quinn's defense aside, I mean, they both played incredible. Like they were hitting guys that they weren't hitting in these games. That's for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
like take away the big plays, like whenever you're like there was times where guys were like in Jordan Love's face, like hitting him, like making him throw it, hitting him in the mouth, hitting him in the chest, and he was dropping dimes to guys in like tight windows against the Cowboys.
Yeah, I wonder with Dan Quinn's defense, I wonder how much of that is how identifiable it is too. Like how quick he knows he has answers.
But I mean, they weren't hitting open. They weren't hitting open guys under no pressure. Is what I'm saying. Like,
Right, because he didn't like he didn't have answers. He didn't know what he was seeing. That's my thought. At least. I mean, I could be wrong. That's just
he missed
that's
Jordan.
what I'm thinking. Looking at
he missed Jordan Reed on a slant route straight across the middle with nobody in his face by like a good 3 yards and threw it behind him and threw a pick. Like, there ain't nothing more to see. Like the dude's on a slant. He's obviously not going to stop in the middle of a slant, and you throw it 3 yards behind him. Like,
yeah,
it's just a bad throw.
He didn't execute.
Which I'm saying, like he was throwing perfect balls.
I think the chess match that goes on between a D coordinator and quarterback, though, does account to that to some degree.
Throwing perfect balls.
Yeah, versus being comfortable versus being uncomfortable.
Oh, I mean, San Fran didn't really do much to make him uncomfortable. He just played like shit.
Right. On the back end, I'm saying, on the understanding what you're looking at.
I mean, I guess maybe, but I don't know. I mean, some of the throws he made.
It was just a thought that that just popped up to me. Like I wonder how much of that could be the defensive coordinator's mind games that he's playing with the quarterback, and how much the quarterback's setting his feet up right, how much he's thinking, like having to think about what he's seeing versus just reacting to what he's seeing. I think that's going to impact what throws he hits and stuff along those lines.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you go from dropping it in a bucket with Micah Parsons breathing down your neck, hitting you and pushing you back 15 yards to a clean pocket, not even be able to hit a slant route is pretty infuriating to watch, however it happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
I can't disagree with you. The Cowboys were getting better pressure on them. I agree with that.
But, yeah, and then Brock Purdy just didn't look great. Deebo Samuel went out early. I mean, 49ers should have lost that game.
What's Deebo's status for this game? Has it been said?
Last I heard that he plans on playing.
All right, well, let's just jump into that game. Lions, 49ers. 49ers are 9-point favorites, total of 50.5.
There were 7 when I left them up earlier. Hold on, let's double check here.
You're right.
They're 7 right
Did
now.
that change? Okay.
So Debo's probably
All right.
playing. Was that the change? Debo worth 2 points?
No, that's
No
just
way.
a typo.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So
All right,
no,
7-point spread.
I mean, I had Lions +7, so I was about to be like, I'll hammer Lions +9. No, I like Lions +7 here. I mean, I think with the way that offense is playing right now, I think they can get hot. And that defense, I think they can get some pressure on Brock Purdy with those guys up front. And if Debo's out again, and I like the way their linebackers cover the tight end and stuff like that too. So I think they definitely got a shot here, and I like the under here as well. I think the Lions, if they get a lead, they're just going to kind of try to keep it out of San Fran's hands and slow it down and kind of do what they did in the second half of the Tampa game. Just short intermediate throws, running the ball, alternating between Montgomery and alternating between Montgomery and Gibbs, and I think they slow the game down, and I think they win. I think they could win 24-17.
Yeah, I mean, so I got the Lions +7 here. So I'm with you there. I'm worried about Detroit's defense in this game, though. They like to bring their linebackers downhill on the line of scrimmage. Like they like to get downhill against the run. And I think that is something that Kyle Shanahan salivates over.
Yeah.
And after seeing, I mean, if Debo's playing, he's probably a little more similar to this than Ayuk, but like neither one of them are like Mike Evans. But like, dude, Mike Evans was just cooking Cam Sutton all day against the Buck for Bucks Lions. Like that secondary has some issues, and I think Ayuk and Debo can cause problems for them. So that's where I worry for the Lions.
Is Purdy better than Mayfield?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
But I don't worry about it enough where I like the over. And I don't worry about it enough where I like San Fran to cover 7. But that's the concern for the Lions winning this game, I think, is can that defense effectively play against the 49ers style of offense with how talented their offense is?
I think the Niners, or I think the Lions can win if they play their best game. If both teams play their best game, I think the Lions can win, because I think in a shootout, I think the Lions can win that. And I think with just the talent they have all over that offense, I mean, you're just hoping that you could get a couple of mistakes out of Brock Purdy, which, I mean,
that's cute. I mean, Purdy was trying to give the ball away a few times against Green Bay.
Yeah.
So like,
Green Bay's defense, I mean, I don't know what Green Bay's defense did these last couple of weeks, but I mean,
Joe Barry just figured it out.
Yeah. Well, hopefully he goes back to not figuring it out and suck again next year. But
so.
Yeah, I mean,
it's enough to bring Joe Barry back, and the fact is that he didn't actually figure it out, and then the Packers. That's what I hope.
Yeah. That's what we can all hope. But yeah, that defense was incredible these past 2 weeks for Green Bay. So yeah, I mean, I like the Lions here. I think they can get it done.
Yeah. I mean, I like them to cover 7. I mean, I think this defense, or not defense, this Lions team, they fight. These guys fight.
Yeah.
And I do not see them losing in a blowout because of their fight and how much that they have the talent. And when you have talent that fights that hard, you have a chance in any game. I just don't see them losing by multiple scores.
So I'm honestly curious to see, like, 49ers are one of the most historic teams in the NFL. But I'm honestly excited to see what this crowd looks like in Santa Clara on Sunday.
Why? You want to see the Detroit fans show up?
Yeah, I mean, there's probably people that are pulling out second mortgages and they're pulling out their 401k.
The Bay Area from Detroit. like whose parents
I mean,
are from Detroit, who grew up in Detroit and got out of there to sunny
Yeah.
California because they were tired of the cold in the Midwest. Like,
Oh, I know. I
there's
mean,
probably
I'm just
Lions
saying.
fans all over the area.
Yeah, I mean that's probably also true, but like this is, I mean, this is the biggest Lions game of just about anybody's lifetime that's under the age of 40.
Yeah,
And you look at that demographic of like disposable income, no kids, like people under 40 aren't really having kids anymore. So you just have a bunch of factory workers in Detroit that have probably been working at that job since they're 18 years old, got a couple $100,000 in their 401k, and they're gonna pull out about 100 of it to have the time of their life going to San Francisco for the weekend and showing up, showing out for the Lions. Like
dude, I hope so.
I'm
man.
excited.
That would
Like
be sick.
I hope we can get at least enough to where you're like, holy shit! Like look at this crowd. Like I just want to be able to see like just on the broadcast. I just want to be able to like tell that it's like at least 50-50. That would be incredible.
So, if I told you let me see, after the 2020 season, if I told you that the Lions were gonna reach the Super Bowl before the Bills, I would have been crazy. Not you, anyone.
Yeah.
Because the Bills coming off 13-3 season. Josh Allen just threw 37 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 4,500 yards.
It was in the AFC Championship game 2 years ago.
Yeah. Versus, in 2020, so that was their first. They
2020 was the first time they made the
playoffs in 2019, but I don't think they got to the AFC Championship.
No, I'm just saying, like you say that in 2020, and then the very next year in 21, they make the AFC Championship game, and then you're sitting there like, oh yeah, like Bills are for sure going to make it for the Lions.
Versus the 5-11 Detroit Lions, who are basically just Matthew Stafford.
And then they trade Matthew Stafford that offseason.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay, well, they got to get they're going to get a quarterback in the draft, and it's like, oh, they get Jared Goff, and you're like, oh, well, I guess this is a bridge until they get a quarterback in the draft, and then they get a little bit worse, and then you're like, okay, well, maybe it's quarterback time, and then it's like, well, they're starting to improve. They ruined Aaron Rodgers' last dance in Green Bay, which was their own little mini Super Bowl, only to be in the NFC Championship game the next year.
Yeah. That about sums it up. What year did Dan Campbell get there? Was that 21?
Was he the one that brought Goff there, or did he ever coach Stafford?
I'm pretty sure he brought Goff.
I know he brought Goff. I was just trying to remember if that was if he ever coached Stafford or not.
Guess what the Lions cover rate is under Dan Campbell? Like percentage of games they've covered.
It's got to be over 65. I would say 71.
68.
Oh, okay.
60.
I was close.
%. Yeah.
I know they're
in the NFL.
Their 4-12 season, I think they covered 12 times that year.
Let's see. In 2021,
was that when they went 4-12?
They were 11-6 against the spread, 3-13-1 on the season, but 11-6 against the spread. Then in 22, they were 9-8, but 12-5 against the spread.
Yeah.
And this year,
this is probably their worst year against the spread in a while because they started
13-6, including playoffs.
Still pretty good. Yeah.
They've covered 78% of their road games this year.
Yeah. Dogs, man.
San Fran at home has only covered 33% of their games.
Also, Penei Sewell is turning into just like an absolute bully out there.
Oh, he has been.
No, but
hasn't.
like he's
So-
starting to hit. He's starting to hit like that like
Yeah,
next level.
he is not
start-
not actually, but it feels like Trent Williams territory as far as
Yeah,
like, his ability
that's what
to
I was about
move
to.
and bring power with him.
Dude,
Awesome.
they were running that trap with him,
Yeah,
and instead of kicking out the end, he was going and just bullying their DBs. He was launching those children.
yeah, it was awesome.
Like it was awesome. And he was just moving so fast. And it's like, so is he just gonna stay at right tackle, I guess?
I think so, unless what's his name? Their left tackle gets hurt.
Yeah, but I mean, he's just such a good right tackle. I mean,
Yeah,
I mean, it's not the days of old where it's like, I mean, you need two good tackles either way, and he's so good at right. Like, I can't imagine him just moving him over.
So many of the premier edge rushers in the league play lined up across from the right tackle because the left tackle is usually the better one.
Yeah.
So, like, if they're used to playing that side, they're still going to typically play that side against the Lions.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
You're getting your best on best then. Like,
Yeah.
there is logic to that. But for this game, that was the biggest selling point I have. Detroit is covering almost 80% of their road games, and San Francisco is covering 33% of their home games. Like, that is a huge difference to me.
Also, we're talking about dogs on this team. We talked about Penei Sewell, talked about Sam Laporta. Frank Ragnow just breaking his leg like 3 different times and just staying out there. Like, he don't give no fucks.
Frank Ragnow that dude is awesome. I love watching Frank Ragnow.
It looked like his leg snapped in half 4 different times. Yeah. And he was just on the ground, just like screaming in pain. And then would just stand up and walk off and be back the next possession. And
went in the locker room, went to Dan Campbell's office, grabbed a cup of coffee, came back out. He was good.
Yeah. I mean, they were having to take kneecaps on defense just to do kneecap transfusions.
One more thing on this game that is, because this time of year is where I really start looking at strength of schedule. According to PFF strength of schedule metric, Lions have played the 15th toughest schedule in the league, while San Fran has played the 24th toughest. So that's a decent variance there where you're saying, okay, I think this spread's a little too big.
Yeah. Yeah, especially with the talent of this team and the way they've been playing. Yeah, I love Lions here. You want to move on?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Chiefs, Ravens. Ravens 3.5-point favorites, total of 44.5 points.
It feels criminal that this one's the early game, but I guess AFC, NFC just switches back and forth every year.
Wait. We got a question from Gizder Forev. Who do you guys think the league wants to see in the Super Bowl? KC at minimum due to what they can sell involving Taylor Swift. In the NFC, not sure. I mean, I think if Roger Goodell has a choice, KC's making it. In the NFC, it's probably San Fran just because it's I think the bigger fan base and the more historic one. And it has more of a national fan base to it.
I don't know. I think the entire U.S. would get behind a Lions Super Bowl.
I do too, to a degree. I don't know.
Against Mahomes.
But it would also be a rematch of a Super Bowl from a few years ago.
Super Bowl one.
San Fran.
I thought you said the Lions. Said Super Bowl one was Chiefs Lions.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, well then, yeah, that's the answer. That's it. They want Super Bowl one. I didn't realize that. Yeah, that's where I think that's where it would be.
Yeah, and I mean, oh man, yeah, it'd be incredible. I mean, I don't think the league has to do anything. I think the Chiefs are winning this game. I mean, Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, I mean, the dude just gets it done. I'm taking Chiefs plus 3.5. I'm taking Chiefs on the money line. I'm taking the over. I mean, Patrick Mahomes just elevates when he hits the playoffs, and as long as his guys are catching the ball, I just don't see how Baltimore wins this game. I mean, they should win the game. But I mean, go back to some of those Tom Brady years. I mean, it doesn't matter. Like Patriots are going to find a way to get there, and that's how these Chiefs feel. It's like it doesn't matter who they're playing. It doesn't matter what the spread is. You have the best player in the league, in Patrick Mahomes. You're going to win this game.
Do you know the last time a championship game was played for football was played in Baltimore?
Like an NFC champion or AFC championship game?
Yeah,
Yeah, wasn't it like in the 70s?
71.
71. Yeah.
This place is going to be nuts. Ravens fans are insane. This place is going to be wild. It's going to be loud. And I think Pat Mahomes will be fine with that. Like, I got the over 44.5.
I mean, the Bills Stadium is wild.
Yeah. I got Chiefs plus 3.5. But I will say, this is not the Bills defense. This defense is real good. Like, best in the NFL by far this year.
By far. You know who else is good?
Chiefs.
Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. Hey, I told you, I'm on Chiefs plus 3.5. I'm telling my concerns about my bet is that this Ravens defense is so creative and so talented, and they're going to attack Kansas City in ways that they haven't been attacked all year. Like, it's going to be a hell of a game. You're right. This should be the late game. I'm not happy that this is the early game because this is going to be nuts. I think that stadium is going to be absolutely insane. I know a Ravens fan who's putting down his life savings to go to this game. Like, not life the game. No, to go to it. Like,
okay, yeah.
These people are insane. That stadium gets nuts. Like, I mean, I don't know how Lamar's going to do against the KC defense, if I'm being completely honest. But I do know that if the Ravens, there's no game script where the Chiefs are out of it. I don't think.
No.
Like, if the Ravens get a lead, Pat Mahomes is going to fight like hell and put points on the board. You know, the over is like, I'm taking the Chiefs just because you can't not take Pat Mahomes in this spot.
Yeah.
As a 3.5 point dog, you just can't not take that. But my favorite bet is the over because if the Ravens get an early lead, there are going to be points.
Yeah. And I mean, CJ Stroud was dangerously close to getting hot that game. Like,
yeah.
And if he gets hot, who knows what happens? I think the Ravens still win, but I mean, he was dishing it early, making some great throws, and I mean, I think it's just like anything else. If Patrick Mahomes finds his rhythm this game, it's gonna be a long day for Baltimore's defense, especially when a defense is that good and you go down there and you punch them in the mouth and they can't stop you. By the second, third, fourth drive, you're just like, what else are we supposed to do?
Yeah, I mean, I think this could be like a 27-24 game where neither offense ever really gets it going, but it's like they just find the points because it's championship.
Yep.
It's a championship. You find ways to score. Like I don't know if I think this is going to be an ugly football game, but I think it's going to be a great game.
Yeah. So I mean, Chiefs Lions Super Bowl in Vegas.
Sounds awesome to me.
Oh man, I can't wait. Amon-Ra and the boys over there in Detroit going against the Swifties and Travis Kelce and Patty Mahomes.
Yeah, I mean, I think 49. I'm if I have a lean for that first game, it's probably 49ers to win. But like, I'm not confident enough to bet either side of that number.
Yeah, I just don't want to see another 49ers choke job in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it would be funny though.
Yeah, it is always good to see. I'm just tired of seeing it.
Yeah,
I just wish they'd be bad, so I don't have to watch them lose Super Bowls.
Yeah, it would be. You think John Harbaugh would be in the house or Jim Harbaugh would be in the house for that game? 49ers Ravens Super Bowl, wearing Ravens gear.
They'll probably turn off the lights at halftime.
Probably. Will probably work out better for him this time.
Yeah. Yeah, if it's 49ers Ravens, there's no way he's not there. I mean, I think he
Ravens
hates.
gear?
Oh, he's definitely in Ravens gear. I mean, I'm pretty sure he hates the York family.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, he would be petty enough to like do something like liquidate all of his assets to like make sure a 49er fan doesn't even enter the stadium. Like, he's that petty.
Jim Harbaugh, that dude.
Yeah, like
He is that guy.
he would do something crazy. It's like Jim Harbaugh somehow like found a way to get his hands on like $1 billion cash, like liquid, and bought every single ticket for the Super Bowl and just gave it to like nothing but like the underprivileged like Baltimore fans that will go absolutely buck wild the entire game. Like the people that could never dream of going to a Super Bowl, and he would make sure every single one of them dudes were right there, at least at minimum behind the 49er bench.
Let's see. So the average Super Bowl ticket last year was $8,000. Let's see how much the stadium holds.
60,000? It's not a huge stadium.
$65,000. So
I'm sure they will add some. I think you have to hold 70 to host a Super Bowl, so they probably have a way to add seats or something. Just say 75.
Okay, let's say 75. $600 million. That's all you need to find, Jim. 600 mil.
He can do it. He could do it. He would find the 300 and then go put it all on black.
He would.
Quick double up.
But he'd rig the table though.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Or
Jim
he'll just
Harbaugh
go,
don't play. He only plays rigged games.
or he'll go to Michigan and say, "I'll sign a lifetime contract if you give me $750 million right this second."
600 for Super Bowl tickets and 150 because you made me ask again.
Yeah, just yeah. You made me come back to the negotiating table, so here it is. I will never leave. Yeah, so that's the plan. So you got 49ers Chiefs or 49ers Ravens?
I'm taking 49ers Chiefs.
Taking Chiefs Lions. Either way. Next week we'll do. What are we doing next week? No Palooza. Palooza's gonna be the week after.
I'm gonna be in Mobile, Alabama next week.
Oh, okay. So probably let's just take next week off. And then we'll be back the following Tuesday before the Super Bowl for Palooza.
Super Bowl Super Show Propapalooza.
Super Bowl Super Show Propapalooza coming soon. Get ready. And I'm on call next week, so that's perfect.
All right.
So
can't wait.
Can't wait. All right. Well, that's the end of year 3. We started not sleeping on the Lions. We moved on to not sleeping on the Texans. We're in year 3. Lions are in it to win it. So
making us proud.
One more time. 7-point spread. Don't sleep on them Lions.
Don't do it.
You play to win the game. Hello? You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it.